with Donald Trump returning to the White House. The Middle East faces a new wave of uncertainty and bold decisions. In a bombshell report, Bloomberg revealed that Donald Trump is considering a decisive strike on Iran's nuclear program, a development of extreme seriousness. What is Iran's response to this, and what impact could it have on the Middle East? But that's not all. Today, CNN reported on the fate of the Gulf under Trump, the steep decline in oil prices, and the status of Saudi-Israeli normalization, and also increasing relationships of Gulf leaders with China. And last but not least, what's Trump's stance on the war in Lebanon? Will he cut off support to Israel and put a stop to the conflict, or will he make Netanyahu even more aggressive? There's a lot of news and details I'm going to reveal to you for the first time because not everything reported in the papers tells the full story. There's so much you need to know, but to uncover it, I need to tell you the story from the beginning. The 2024 U.S. election casts a long shadow, particularly for Iran. Donald Trump's potential return to the White House evokes anxieties in Tehran, and rightfully so. Trump's first term was marked by seismic shifts in U.S.-Iran relations. His policies, a stark departure from his predecessor, left the relationship deeply fractured. The possibility of his return raises critical questions about the future trajectory of this volatile dynamic and its global implications. Trump's previous tenure was defined by confrontation with Iran. His administration viewed Iran as a rogue state and a primary source of instability in the Middle East. The 2015 Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, commonly known as the Iran nuclear deal, became a focal point of contention. This agreement, negotiated under the Obama administration, aimed to curb Iran's nuclear ambitions in exchange for sanctions relief. Trump, however, saw it as fatally flawed. The potential for renewed tensions is undeniable. Trump's rhetoric towards Iran remained consistently hostile throughout his time out of office. He has not signaled any intention of softening his stance. For Iran, this raises the specter of a return to the high-pressure tactics that characterized Trump's first term. The economic, political, and security implications are profound. The international community also watches with bated breath. The U.S.-Iran relationship has far-reaching consequences, impacting global security and energy markets. A return to confrontation could ignite new crises in an already volatile region. The stakes are high and the world waits to see how this geopolitical drama will unfold. The Trump administration's withdrawal from the JCPOA in 2018 marked a turning point in U.S.-Iran relations. This decision sent shockwaves across the international community and plunged the relationship into a deep freeze. The JCPOA, painstakingly negotiated over years, was intended to be a cornerstone of regional stability. Trump, however, viewed it as a flawed deal that did not adequately address Iran's nuclear program or its regional activities. The withdrawal was condemned by many world leaders and experts. They argued that it undermined the non-proliferation regime and alienated the U.S. from its European allies. The deal, despite its limitations, was seen as the best way to prevent Iran from developing nuclear weapons. By withdrawing, Trump, they argued, had removed a crucial safeguard and opened the door for a potential nuclear arms race in the Middle East. Iran initially sought to salvage the agreement, working with the remaining signatories, the UK, France, Germany, Russia, and China. However, the reimposition of U.S. sanctions crippled the Iranian economy. The Trump administration's maximum pressure campaign was designed to bring Iran back to the negotiating table for a better deal. This strategy, however, failed to achieve its stated objective. Instead of capitulating, Iran gradually increased its nuclear activities beyond the limits set by the JCPOA. Tehran argued that it was entitled to do so under the deal's dispute resolution mechanism. The move, however, was widely seen as a calculated escalation designed to increase its leverage in any future negotiations. The future of the JCPOA remains uncertain. The cornerstone of Trump's Iran policy was the maximum pressure campaign. This multifaceted strategy aimed to cripple Iran's economy, isolate it diplomatically, and force it to make concessions on its nuclear program, ballistic missile development, and support for regional proxies. The primary tool of this campaign was the re-imposition of crippling economic sanctions. These sanctions, lifted under the JCPOA, targeted vital sectors of the Iranian economy, including oil exports, shipping, and financial transactions. The impact was swift and severe. Iran's currency, the rial, plummeted in value, inflation soared, and foreign investment dried up. The Iranian people bore the brunt of this economic hardship, facing shortages of essential goods and medicines. The Trump administration argued that the sanctions were designed to pressure the Iranian regime, not the Iranian people. However, the humanitarian consequences were undeniable. Critics argued that the sanctions amounted to collective punishment and risked exacerbating the very grievances that the U.S. sought to address. The maximum pressure campaign had mixed results. While it undeniably inflicted significant pain on the Iranian economy, it failed to achieve its primary objective of bringing Iran back to the negotiating table for a new nuclear deal. Instead, it emboldened hardliners within the Iranian government and fueled anti-American sentiment among the population. Trump's tenure was marked by heightened military tensions with Iran. The relationship, already strained, reached a boiling point in January 2020 with the assassination of Iranian Major General Qasem Soleimani. Soleimani, the head of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps' Quds Force, was killed in a U.S. drone strike in Baghdad. The assassination sent shockwaves through the region and brought the U.S. and Iran to the brink of war. Iran vowed revenge and launched ballistic missiles at U.S. military bases in Iraq. While there were no U.S. casualties in the attacks, the incident underscored the potential for miscalculation and escalation. The Trump administration argued that the strike was justified, claiming that Soleimani was planning imminent attacks on U.S. interests. However, the evidence presented was disputed by many, and the strike was widely condemned as an illegal act of aggression. The assassination exacerbated tensions in the region and raised questions about Trump's decision-making process. Beyond the Solomani assassination, the Trump administration also engaged in a campaign of maximum pressure against Iran in the maritime domain. The U.S. Navy stepped up its presence in the Persian Gulf and conducted numerous exercises with regional allies. These actions were intended to deter Iranian aggression and disrupt its support for regional proxies. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe for more insights into how the world's biggest stories impact us all.